Hey, hope that y'all are good. What's up? We're talking about timeline sealing today, and I'm gonna be doing my makeup at the same time. So if you don't want to see that, sorry, but this is what you're gonna get because I got shit to do. But I also need to talk to you guys about timeline sealing, okay? So let's get started. By the way, I am going to be doing a look with my girl Jackie Ina's palette. I'm so excited. Black girl power. Okay. Um let's get started. So, I have like my notes right here cuz I got like one, two, three, four pages of notes on timeline sealing. Okay. So the so I don't know if you guys remember, but the last few readings that I gave you guys and like channeled messages about like what to do over the next few months and what you need to do in order to like move into a new dimension like as we're moving up. So I remember like I don't know if you guys remember those readings and me like talking to you guys about that, but basically I kind of figure out why I was so adamant about you guys releasing and doing things in order to change your life before a certain period in time, right? So I told you guys, like, I basically said, like, after the summer is when you're going to really need to work on this because otherwise, like, it's just not going to be good, right? But I didn't know. I didn't know why. And I was like adamantly trying to figure out why. Like, I was sitting there, like, okay, I don't understand like what you're saying, spirit, because you always wanted us to release what no longer serves us, right? But now I got receipts, sis. Now I got receipts. I understand now why we need to release this shit, right? So the other day I was watching a video and basically in this video this lady was talking about timeline sealing. And I thought I was going to fall out of my body, okay? Because everything that she was saying was confirming everything that I have been telling y'all for the past few months about releasing because we're moving into a new dimension, okay? So, this information is really important. Y'all need to listen, okay? You could take notes if you want. So, I'm also gonna tell you guys the video that I watched. It was a video called Timeline Shifting, and it was by psychicsoundsbyb.com. And I'm really not into psychics, I'm just be real, but this lady is like an astrologer like no other. Like the way she was breaking shit down, I thought I was gonna fall out my chair, right? So these are the dates that you guys need to really focus on when releasing things that don't serve you, okay? And moving into more of an understanding of what your purpose is and actually living in that purpose, right? So basically, this is the time that you need to choose your timeline, okay? It's time for you to choose your timeline, all right? So, August the 12th through September the 15th. Okay. So right now, what is happening is we have Jupiter going direct. All right. And then we have Saturn going direct soon. All right. Saturn has been in retrograde for what? For a minute, right? And the thing about Saturn is that Saturn is all about karmic destinies, karmic shifts, karmic. That is what Saturn is all about. It's all about karma. Sometimes when we think about karma, we most likely think about bad, but some of y'all may not know, but karma can be good as well, right? So whatever you've been working on, whatever you've been doing, however you've been treating other people, this is going to be the time when you reap what you sow. Because once Saturn wakes up, it's about to get shit about to hit the fan. Shit's about to get real. Okay, once Saturn wakes up. Okay, with Jupiter waking up, everything that you've been manifesting will start to come to fruition quicker. All right, Saturn is a planet about expansion, about wealth, luck, fortune, all right, and all those aspects. But it's also about judgment as well. All right, so we think about Jupiter, we think about judgment, judge, all these things, everything that has to do with like facing other people, facing things that don't serve you anymore, facing something that may serve you, but you're just afraid of tapping into that energy. Okay, this is exactly what we mean by Jupiter going direct. Now, when Saturn goes direct, everything that has been laying dormant that has to do with karma, foundational principles, structural principles as well, okay? All this has to do with Saturn going direct, okay? Saturn is my ruling planet. I'm a sun Capricorn. I have a lot of Capricorn in my chart, all right? Saturn is a ruler of my sign. So when I say that us Capricorns have been going through it, we've been going through it, sis. We've been going through hell and high water. All right. I'm here to let you know that as a Capricorn, things have been getting better. Things feel lighter. Things don't feel as dreadful as they did before. I no longer feel like I'm going through the dark night of the soul. I'm finally feeling like I'm connecting on an astral level. Okay? So the point of this video is, what timeline are you going to choose? Where are you going to be in the next 12 years? Where do you see yourself in the next 12 years? It's time for you to choose your timeline. It is time for you to choose which way you're going to go in life. Okay? So, with the new moon in Pisces that just happened not too long ago, all right? The new moon in Pisces opened up a new portal for us, okay? And I don't know if you guys can think back to April, this past April, okay? Think back to April, right? While I do this other brow real quick, I want y'all to think back to April and think about what happened in your life after April the 11th. Tell me what happened. What happened in April? I'm going to tell y'all what happened to me in April. So in April, not only did I have that big huge fight with my now ex-girlfriend that sent me to court because I had to sue her motherfucking ass for tripping. Um in April I also left my job officially. Like, not my job, but like I left my freelancing job. I left NARS and I completely went off on my own. Not only that, I also launched my website in April as well. Okay? Excuse me. So in April, a lot of you guys had some sort of event that happened, right? And this event is what truly changed your life. I guarantee you, if you really think about it, there's an event in April that happened that truly changed the way you thought about your life, right? Me getting in that fight with my ex really changed my life and how I perceive love, how I perceive relationships, but also how I perceived women and women being in relationships with women. Okay? Not only that, but I launched my website officially, right? So it made me realize that the path that I'm on, as far as like my purpose, like it just made everything much more concise. It made things come together, right? And I was now able to have more freedom in a space to create. Okay? So that's what happened to me in April. Not only that, I had the courage to leap and jump, and I left my freelancing job because I was over it. And I knew that, technically, I'm not supposed to be working for anybody. Okay? So, with that being said, now we're into the summer, right? And this summer has been very childlike energy for me. Like, this summer, all I wanted to do was have fun, travel, turn up, do my thing. And that's what I've literally been doing all summer, is acting like a big ass kid, like acting like I'm in my 20s again and just going out and partying and having fun, right? But as we started to get further into the summer and we had that, I believe it was a full moon in Capricorn, that's when things started to get serious for me. That's when I started to realize, okay, I can't be a child anymore. I can be a child, but it's time for me to really get serious about the next phase of my life, right? And I was sitting here thinking about where I'm going to move, where am I going to be planting myself for the next few years of my life, right? And I started to realize that, I really didn't know. And it was time for me to start releasing more. It was time for me to start getting rid of like different types of emotions and things like that, right? So that's when I did that reading for you guys in the middle of the summer, okay? And I did that reading and I was like, it's really time for y'all to get serious. It's really time for y'all to get serious about focusing in on where you're wanting to go and the things that you want to achieve, the things you want to release, and choosing your timeline, choosing your lifestyle, right? If you want to leave a job that you no longer love or that is holding you back, that you need to leave that. If you're in a relationship that needs to go, you need to leave that relationship, right? That's what I was telling you guys in the middle of the summer. I think some of y'all started to listen, okay? So, um, there has been a lot of endings and learning great lessons over the past 6 months, right? Ashe, baby, what's up? There's been a lot of like lessons that we have been learning over the last 6 months, and lessons that teach us about our power, how powerful we are as these star seeds, right? I hope that y'all following me here, okay? Cuz I have a point. See? Moved on from a unhealthy relationship. There we go. Okay. So, let's get into the actual factual here. So, basically, between now and September the 15th, Saturn and Jupiter are going direct, okay? And decisions need to be made, all right? It's time for you guys to make decisions on what the next steps in your life will be. By the second week of August, we have Jupiter, which is already going direct, right? Then you have by the 12th, um, excuse me, wait. So 8-8 is when the energies will be present, right? And then the 12th is when it will actually happen, which is tomorrow, okay? So this is going to lock you in, like whatever. What's that?
For Kenya.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll give it to her. So I said 8-8, the energy of Jupiter starts to go direct. On the 12th is when actually Jupiter goes direct in Sagittarius, okay? Jupiter actually rules Sagittarius, just so you guys know. So it feels at home in Sagittarius, all right? So at a minimum of 12 years, if you don't make the decision to figure out what you're going to do and what timeline you will choose by the 15th of September, which is about a month from now, you will be locked into whatever is going on in your life for the next 12 years. All right? You will be locked in. The timelines will be sealing. Okay? Um now, I would definitely say for those that are still trying to figure out their purpose, for those that are still trying to figure out what path in life they're going to go on. Hey y'all, what's up? This is going to be a time that you need to do some heavy reflection, all right? Heavy soul searching and shadow work. And that's why I've been telling y'all to do the work, because now you're running out of time. You're running out of time, okay? And I'm going to be doing a separate video on the energy of 2020, which is year 4. But you guys are going to be running out of time. Y'all are running out of time, I should say, right? So if you choose to stay in the timeline in which you're on right now and you're not happy with it, if you choose to stay in it, after the 15th of September, once the timeline's sealed, you'll be locked into that timeline for 12 years. If you decide to try and change anything that you were supposed to change before that sealing of the timeline on September the 15th, it will be hard as anything to get out of that timeline. It will be so hard because you will have basically chosen the quantum timeline that you want to run on. You will have experiences that mirror the exact thing that you are trying to get rid of. Okay? So, for example, if you're in an unhealthy relationship and you decide to stay in it because for whatever reason, and after the 15th of September, those timelines seal, what's going to happen is if you decide to break up with that person, you will continuously have relationships that mirror exactly what relationship you were trying to get rid of. Okay? It's going to be a mirror effect within that timeline. You will be reliving your karma. You will be reliving your karma. You will live to see your karma within that timeline. So if you did good by yourself by releasing things that don't serve you, people, places, things, whatever, if you are not actively working towards a decision that you made in a positive way, you will be mirroring whatever you have sown, right? So that is going to be the karma that you'll have to pay. It's time to pay up. The universe says it's time to pay up. It's time to pay up now. It's time for you to pay up on your karma. So what will be your karma? What is your karma going to look like? Okay? Because by October the 4th to November the 19th, right? that is when you'll really start to see your good karma or your bad karma come into play. It's called a galactic center. That's when the galactic center will finally be closed. So y'all can look that up. It's called galactic center, and you can look up with that in you can look that up in also excuse me, the timeline ceiling. Okay, it's online. You can see it. You can see it has the dates, the astrological points, and everything. All right. Um, so going into December, Venus will be showing all of its glory. And from the 16th of December to January 2020 is when you will start to see how love will affect you, right? So, and we're still talking about timelines here because, especially if you are in like an abusive relationship, like mentally, physically, emotionally, if you're in some sort of abusive relationship, right? You will be losing that attachment to that love, and it's going to hurt a lot of people because I feel like a lot of you guys who are in these abusive relationships, you guys are telling yourself that you're in love with this person when in all actuality you aren't. And it's actually going to be more detrimental to your heart chakra than anything that you've ever felt. Now, for those that are looking for love, that haven't been able to find love or some sort of partner, you will be experiencing extreme ecstasy and extreme love for whoever it is that you are like interacting with, or vice versa, right? They could be falling in love with you, okay? So let's backtrack because Pluto is going to go direct on October the 4th, right? And we know that Pluto is like the forgotten planet. It's the planet that is, it's like the planet of death and transformation, right? And transformative energy. So that's why I said between October the 4th and November the 19th is when you'll really start to see how things will start to unfold and change for you. Okay. If you are looking to truly transform your life, then October is going to be the time in which you see it happen. Like, you need to be doing the work now, obviously, but you will be reaping the benefits of what you've sown from this time on during especially the time in on October the 4th when Pluto blah, blah, can't talk, when Pluto goes direct. All right. Okay. So, because Saturn is going direct in the sign of Capricorn, all right, there are going to be some things that you want to focus on when it comes to Capricorn energy. All right. So, let's talk about that. So, the positive things about Capricorn that you need to focus on are commitment to decisions, right? As a Capricorn, when we make a decision, we stick with it. We never like backpedal, we never think twice. We just go with what our gut tells us. We're really good about that. We're really good about staying loyal to ourselves and true to ourselves and true to what we believe. Like that saying, stand for something or fall for anything. Like, that's a Capricorn. We will stand for so many things because we're committed. We're loyal. Our and the next thing is loyalty. We're so loyal to ourselves. We're so loyal to our cause. We're so loyal to our work. And that is what y'all need to really focus on, is being loyal to yourselves. A lot of us want to follow the crowd, but we don't want to become a leader in our own right. And Capricorns are leaders because we're very grounded and we're much about like what people think about us and how people feel about us and how people see us. That's a Capricorn all day, right? So it's very important that you all not only possess the trait of loyalty, And I don't mean loyalty to other people, I mean loyalty to yourself. Hold on, y'all. I should have did my brows first. Okay. So the next one is hard work. All right, hard work. So hard work is such a, I use that loosely because some people don't know what I mean by hard work. And 2020 is going to teach us what hard work is. Like, we think that we're working hard now. Come 2020, you're going to have to work twice as fucking hard for what you want. So it's good to now, like, it's good to now get on the ball with hard work and with organization. All right. With organization. So becoming organized and like setting a plan of action for the things that you want to get accomplished, that is something that you really want to focus on right now. Like, you may want to do something, but how are you going to do it? Capricorns are big planners. We don't Capricorns don't like surprises. We don't like spontaneity. Like, that's why people say Capricorns are boring, because we don't like spontaneity. We don't like to be surprised. Like, we are very like rigid, very like predictable beings. Like, we live on predictability, right? And like, I was telling you guys not too long ago to get a planner. Wasn't I telling y'all this? I told y'all to get a planner. I told y'all to get a planner. Okay? This is before I even watched this video. When I say that Spirit has been dropping off messages, Spirit's been dropping off messages, okay? So, getting organized, diligence, right? Diligence. Staying focused on what it is, staying focused on what it is that you want to get done. And I'm also adding in time management, right? The one thing I get lost in is like doing stuff for me. Um like, once I start creating, once I start, like, I don't know, like once I start reading or doing something, like time gets away from me and I start to focus in on that one thing like entirely way too much. And I feel like that's a Capricorn sometimes. Like, we, my Mercury's even Capricorn, so like how I think, how I talk, how I communicate is Capricorn as well. Okay? So staying diligent, staying focused, heavily focused. Like, even if that means you have to like create days on when to do stuff, like, I highly recommend you doing that as well. Okay? So the next one on my list is saving money. And I know I'm about to trigger some people here. I even triggered myself, because getting financially fit, getting financially educated is going to be something that's going to be very, very important for the timeline ceiling, number one. But number two, also going into the year 2020. All right. So saving your money, investing, right? Investing in yourself is going to be big. Becoming a minimalist. I'm going to say that again. Becoming a minimalist. Getting rid of things that don't serve your highest good anymore. Can I say that again for the people in the back? Getting rid of things that don't serve you anymore. Becoming a minimalist. Do you know how many people I know that are starting to be minimalist? And like, y'all, like spirit and energy don't lie. Like, all of this is happening before our very eyes, y'all. Like, do you know how many people I've been coming across that are like living out of RVs and like traveling across the world? Like, they, not even across the world, excuse me, across the country. They're backpacking across the world. Like, people are not living in houses anymore. You know, people are like condensing on stuff that they have. Like my like I don't want to own my own house. Like, that's not my goal. My goal is not to own my own house. Like, I mean, if I could just like go and purchase an RV right now and just do my thing, like, I would do that, right? But I know I have a little bit more work to do. So I have to stay here in this matrix before I like go off and just become like completely inaccessible to people in the world, right? I already touched on this one, but standing for something or falling for anything, which I already kind of talked about, but being rational, okay? Being rational and, you know, really thinking things through before you do them, and thinking about how it not only will affect you, how will it would affect your timeline going forward, right? How will it affect you and the things that you want to accomplish in your life? How are these things going to coincide with each other, right? So that is the things, those are just the major surface level things that you want to focus on going into 2020, but also going into this timeline ceiling, okay? Becoming a minimalist. I want to talk about that again. Like, literally, y'all, there has been so many people talking about like getting rid of their clothes, getting rid of their shoes, just getting rid of a lot of stuff. And we don't realize how much we accumulate over time until we sit around and we're looking at everything in our house and we're like, I have so much stuff. I don't need all of this stuff. Like, half of this stuff I don't even use, right? So there's a term in retail what's called SWOT, sell what's available today, right? And I always think about this term when I say, you know, instead of saying sell what's available today, use what's available today. So that would be UWAT, okay? Not SWAT, but UWAT. So using what's available today, using what you need and not necessarily what you want. That is going to give you a more grateful outlook on life. It's going to give you a more like carefree look on life as well, because you won't feel like, you know, you're attached to so many things, right? The closer we get to the sun, the closer we get to Saturn, y'all got to realize like all of this materialistic stuff is nice to have, right? But we don't need all of this stuff. When we return back to the sun, all of this stuff will be burnt up anyway. It will be of no use to us because, again, it's just stuff. You know, it's just stuff. So instead of, I mean, again, it's nice to manifest and to, you know, like cast spells for materialistic things because, you know, life costs money. Like, in order to live, it costs money. But just because it doesn't mean that it has to cost a lot of money. That's the difference. It doesn't, life doesn't have to cost a lot of money. Life can cost you a little bit of money if you just ration, be rational in your decision making, right? If you commit to your decisions, if you're loyal to yourself, if you work hard on yourself, if you're diligent on yourself, and you save money. I mean, it's all here. It's all here. So the things that you don't want to focus on. So the first ones were positive Capricorn traits. The next one is negative traits. Okay? And this is me all day. Okay, so the first one is judging a book by its cover or how much money it has or its influence, right? So the one thing that we as Capricorns tend to do is because Capricorn rules the 10th house, we tend to be very judgmental, especially when it comes to people that we feel like aren't on our level or people that we may feel like doesn't have power and influence, right? hence a Capricorn. Capricorns love power. We love influence. We love to be influential in people's lives. We like to be influential on a mass scale as well, even though Capricorns aren't really big on like becoming famous. We want to be more, we want to have more notoriety than anything, right? We want it for the clout. Sometimes we want things for the clout, right? And so with that being said, the one thing that you don't want to do is be judgmental based on what you feel people have and don't have. Because again, that goes along with becoming a minimalist, right? The minute you become a minimalist and you realize that these things are just things and that we really don't need them in order to elevate and ascend, you will then become less judgmental of what other people have and don't have because you realize, right, that these are just things. Okay? Somebody say uh uh somebody say amen. Amen. Okay, so next is keeping up with the Joneses. All right, keeping up with the Joneses. And a lot of us do this. You don't have to be a Capricorn. A lot of us like to keep up with the Joneses. And even in spirituality, we like to keep up with the Joneses as well. If we, see that this person has this crystal or, this person is casting that spell, or they're working with this particular deity, all these different things. It's like, we become obsessed with what other people have and therefore we feel like we need it. But if you become a minimalist, then why do you feel like you need stuff that other people have, Be grateful and thankful for what you have already. Because the minute you do that, you just could be right in line with receiving something of the sort of what you feel like you should have based on what other people have. Like you could just very well be blessed with that very same thing, right? So becoming less judgmental and not keeping up with the Joneses, not feeling like you need to keep up with what everyone else is doing, that is going to allow you to focus in on more on what your purpose is because you won't be distracted. All of these things are just distractions, Just like I tell y'all the D is distracting. All of these worldly possessions and things are a distraction. All right? They will distract you from your purpose and they'll have you living on a timeline that you will regret. Okay? Okay. So, next is more worried about your reputation and focusing in on your happiness, right? So as Capricorns, we tend to be more focused on, and this, I'm not saying this like to say, oh, this is only if you're a Capricorn. This is everyone because when Saturn is in, again, Saturn being in Capricorn, this energy affects everyone. So these are the things that you should be focusing in on, or not focusing on, excuse me, not focusing on, okay? So being more worried about your reputation and being just happy with yourself, right? So this happens a lot on social media, where we're so worried about our reputation and how others see us that we seek validation from other people, through likes and comments, through shares and all this stuff. So that's why on my page I never tell you guys to like, comment, and subscribe because honestly I could care less on what you think about my message. I do this for me. I did divine chakras for me, and in the process I have started to heal others through healing myself. Okay? So that is what I mean by worrying about your happiness as opposed to your reputation. Who cares what other people think about you? If you can live like that, then you've decluttered your mind. Like being a minimalist is not also physical, but it's also mental as well. When you declutter your mind from the BS and you become you give minimal fucks, right? You don't have any more fucks to give. So therefore you become a minimalist with fucks, right? Then you become a minimalist in your life overall. That everything starts in the mind. So when you start to declutter your mind, you'll start to declutter your physical. And that's why I'm on this push to become a minimalist. Why I'm on this push to, get that RV and to live like, that life on what?
Watching you.
Oh.
Do your thing. Go on, boob.
Oh my God, my mother is. Go ahead and tell her. But that's why I'm, on the push to becoming, less reliant on things that are physical, and things that are tangible, and so focusing in more on things that are obtainable through elevation and through ascension. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Because my mom just interrupted me. She funny. All right. So next is releasing going with the crowd, which considers to be a safe zone, right? So when we feel like we are focusing in on, hey Jackie girl, hey Jackie girl, I'm using that Jackie Ina today. Okay, I'm about to get to her shadow in a second. Um, when we go with what the crowd is saying instead of being a leader, right? So when I was in the group Indigo Tribe 11, eventually my spirit was like, okay, you need to get away from these people because you're following the crowd. You're not being a leader. You're not actually like leading your own revolution. You're not leading your own um you're not leading your own movement, right? And as a Capricorn, I just said that we're leaders, right? We're leaders by nature, right? And so it's important for you guys to possess these Capricorn traits because they are really going to help you in the year 2020. Okay, hence why I want you guys to seal your timelines with these thoughts in mind because it's what is going to help you to become a better and not suffer in 2020. Okay, so becoming a leader, right? And becoming a leader doesn't mean that you have to be in the forefront of everything. It doesn't mean that you have to be this like person that's out in the open. It basically just means that you've got to focus on what makes you happy and live in that. Don't be afraid to step out there and go against the grain. All right. So that's what that means. It means to not be ashamed of the things that you believe in, but to shout from the mountaintops once you make it up to the top. This is what I believe, this is what I love. And when people see that and they see your confidence through that, I don't want to say they're going to want to follow you, but they will respect your stance on whatever it is that you are preaching about, number one. But number two, it gives you a sense of completion. This is about self. It gives you a sense of completion, right? It gives you a sense of like, I can conquer anything because I believe in myself and I'm loyal to myself. And I understand that I'm the only one that can create my reality. Okay? So, last is going back and trying to fix something that has failed. And this is why I don't go backwards. This is why I don't date people that I've dated before. This is why I don't go back to exes. This is why I always go full steam ahead and I always look to the future. Because if you go back and you try to fix something that has already failed, you are relapsing within your timeline. And now you're opening up this portal of reliving energy that you once lived that was not for your highest good. And now you're wanting the universe to allow you to repeat something that you know that your ass was supposed to get rid of. So, for example, me thinking about, you know, possibly going back to Nordstrom and, just getting a little part-time gig there. Like, as much as I want to do it, my spirit is like, don't do it, sis. Don't do it, right? My daughter's father tried to come back and get back with me because he's going through a divorce with his wife, and he's like, "Oh, I'm about to get my baby back," and I'm like, "Skirt, stop, get over there." He's a Capricorn too, by the way. Me and my daughter's father, we have the same exact birthday, same day, same year, everything, right? We're just like born, I think, 2 hours apart or whatever in different states, right? Which is crazy. But I'm just like, bruh, you ain't coming back. You fucked that up years ago. Okay? Years ago. 8 years ago. Sir, you fucked that up. And now that you are in this marriage that you're getting rid of, and I'm happy that, because he's a pastor, so he's Christian, but he's sealing his timeline right now, and I'm glad that he's getting this divorce because he was miserable. He was miserable. I know him. I know him well. I know him very well. He was miserable with that woman, and I see why. She was a miserable woman. She was a miserable woman. To be Christian, her ass was miserable. That's how I know these Christians be miserable. But that's just an example of what I'm trying to tell y'all. Like, just because you're in a relationship with someone in the past and you think that they've changed, you think that, you're in a different situation now and that you've elevated and things are different. Number one, I knew that that wouldn't work anyway because I didn't want his ass back. I would have went back to his ass a long time ago if I wanted him back. Number one. Number two, I'm on a completely different spiritual path than him now. Like me dating the minister, I would have to go to church. I would have to show up for bruh. Like, nah. That's a oh nah, hell nah for me. You know what I'm saying? So I seal that off because I had a thought about it. I was like, but then spirit was like, sis, like, no, don't you even think about it. Don't you even think about doing anything like that. Right? So I was like, okay, bruh. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I had to listen. But the point is like, don't try and go back and fix things that are broken. Do not try and go back. It's just go full steam ahead. Go full steam ahead. Don't try and revert back to something that, and you think that because now that you've elevated and that you're in a higher dimension, that you're in a different phase in your spirituality, that's going to change it. No. No. Sometimes some energy is stagnant. Y'all know that because some of y'all feel like you're running in place right now. Some of y'all feel like you're stagnant in your own energy right now. So why would you try and go back and fix something that you know is stagnant? That particular energy needs to recognize for itself that it's stagnant so that it could change and elevate through its own stagnation. All right? The only way that you become unstagnant is by realizing and releasing and putting yourself in a different environment, putting yourself in a different type of understanding and being and knowing, right? So like I was talking to my sister the other day, and I'm so adamant about moving. And like the little small town that I'm in here in Laurel, Maryland, when I came back home from living in Charlotte, literally, y'all, the people that I went to high school with, some of them are like, I could go up to the Laurel Square right now, and some of these little hood booger woogers that I went to school with, that I graduated with, and back in 2002, I graduated from high school in 2002, so that will tell you how old I am, if y'all don't know. Some of these little hood booger woogers are still out on the street, out on the strip up here, hanging out in the shopping center with no life, smoking their life away, doing drugs, all of these different things, right? This city is stagnant. This is a stagnant city. All right. If you like we've been in this house, the house I live in with my mother, we've been in this house since 1987. 1987. And this is why I don't want to own a house, because it's stagnant. It sits in the foundation for years and doesn't move. Who wants to live like that? I would rather be a nomad and travel and not know where my next destination will be. If I end up going to a city that is full of lights and, you know what I'm saying, like full of, like, always building, like for example, Charlotte, okay? Charlotte, North Carolina. When I lived in Charlotte, it was some of the best years of my life because Charlotte was always moving, always building, always something new. Nothing is ever stagnant in the city. And that's why I know that I will thrive in the city. I need city energy because I get depressed and pessimistic easily when I'm in stagnant energy. When I'm in energy that doesn't want to move, that doesn't want to elevate, that doesn't want to become better, I get freaking depressed. And I know a lot of you guys do too. So that's why, like, these small towns that people live in, you know, in the middle of Timbuktu, who knows where, like, a lot of y'all are stagnant. You know, you see the older people that, you know, are stuck in their ways, that don't want to think outside the box, that don't want to think in a revolutionized way. They're stagnant. You know, unless you have a house and you're traveling all the time. But it's like, for what? Like, why not just be a minimalist and be able to take all my stuff with me on my journeys? You know what I'm saying? Like, why not? So, you know, it's easier said than done because as people, we're always trying to keep up with the Joneses, and, you know, we want to show up looking a certain way, you know, with new clothes on. Oh my God, I just wore that the other day. Like, I can't show up with the same outfit. Like, people gonna think that I'm broke and I ain't got no money. You know, people gonna think that, you know, I'm poor or whatever. And it's like, who gives a fuck what people think? Like, who cares? You know, that used to be me. That used to be, you know, and I mean, I still love clothes. I'm a woman, you know, and as women, we love pretty things. We just do. We love pretty things. We like to look cute. We like to show up looking a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just who we are at the essential core. And that's why I love masculine energy, because most men, they don't care. Like my father, like, the only time my father would go shopping is if my mother wouldn't buy him stuff. Like, my father would wear the same stuff all the time. My father ain't care about that stuff. You know what I'm saying? He's a man. He doesn't care. But as women, it's kind of hard for us to do that because it's like, you know, especially as a single woman, like, we got to show up looking like something, you know? But just because you want to show up looking like something doesn't mean that you have to waste your life savings with trying to keep up with the Joneses, you know, by trying to keep up with what social media is portraying as the body, you know, like the big butt with the really small waist and, you know, all of this stuff. Like, I was really pressed about getting a breast reduction, and, you know, I realized that I don't need it. Number one, my boobs are starting to shrink anyway with my weight loss, and with me, well, with me reworking, with me working out again, with me doing a lot of like chest exercises and things like that. Like, you know, I can sit here and, you know that I have a little bit of a stomach, you know, like, but when I stand up, like, Ted don't be, you know, real flat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I love myself, you know, and when you are happy with yourself and you love yourself and you're able to shine that light, like, you can walk around and be around the most beautiful models, but their insecurities will show through and yours won't. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's all about energy. You know, it's all about energy. People can read that. People can see how confident you are with yourself. I was just telling somebody today actually, on my spiritual class. I just did the spiritual class not too long ago, but I was telling her that, I was telling her, you know, that basically with me, like, with me realizing how much this spiritual journey has, like, fed me and given me the energy that I needed. Like, I had a guy that I used to date back in the day message me, and he said, like, I really don't understand the spiritual journey that you're on. He's like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. But it looks good on you. Keep doing what you're doing. And I couldn't have been more satisfied with getting that message. Again, not looking for the clout, not looking for the recognition, but the fact that he sees me. He sees me. He sees the journey that I'm on, and he sees how happy I am and how I'm not letting anyone affect me within my journey. Okay? So, anyways, this is the palette for those that wanted to know. This is the Jackie Aina palette. For those that don't know, Jackie Aina is a black beauty influencer. I absolutely am in love with her. I've been following her for the longest time. Sidebar, side note, I know it's not about timelines, but I just had to say that. But anyways, so first black collaboration with this particular brand, Anastasia Beverly Hills. So yeah, this is a big win for us in the makeup community, black girls. This is a big win for us black girls, okay? Um, so back to the timeline shifting. That's really all that I had as far as in my notes. I'm gonna do a separate video on the year 2020 and actually becoming a minimalist. But like this summer has taught me a lot about myself and the journey in which I want to go on and go forth. I'm probably gonna finish my makeup off camera because I can't focus. Unfortunately I can't do two things at once, but I try. The most important thing that I really want you guys to know is the dates of between now and September the 15th, right? So Jupiter is basically going direct. So whatever you've been manifesting, whatever manifestation work you guys been doing, if you did the manifestation jar, if you haven't, do that shit now. Do it now. Have something tangible. That's why I told y'all to come into the manifestation class, and I'm going to be doing a reboot at the end of the month, all right? Like, if you didn't take the manifestation class, I suggest that you do it, all right? I suggest that you do it. And if you don't want to take the class, you can buy the manual. It's 1111. It's on my website, okay? But like, it's time for us to really start to get serious about the life path in which we're going to be on, because 12 years is a long time. I don't know about you, but 12 years ago, I was 23 years old, all right? My life was about to change as I knew it, because 2 years after that, I would have had Kennedy. So just the amount of time when 12 years pass, what 12 years can do for you. It can make or break you. So don't allow the decisions that you are making or that you're afraid of making make or break your future. I'm going to say that again. Do not let the decisions that you do decide to do or not decide to do make or break you for the next 12 years. Get on frequency of the timeline that you want to be on. If you want to move, like me, start to make the arrangements to move. Even if that means you're not going to move until next year, get into the mind frame. Get into the mind frame of I'm moving. All right? I'll be in Dallas at the beginning of September. Hey, shout out to Dallas. Okay, I'll be in Dallas in September. I want to move to Dallas. So I'm going to Dallas to see what Dallas has, right? I want to move because from Dallas, I'm going to be moving to my RV, right? Once I move to Dallas and I get the money for the RV, I'm going to get the RV, pew, and I'm out. Life on the road as you know it. That's going to be me. Because I don't want to be stagnant. I don't want to stay in a place for a long time. I don't want that energy to fester and to like I don't want to be attached to that stagnant energy. So that's why I won't ever buy a house. And if I do buy some sort of property, then I may rent it out as like an Airbnb or some shit. But even that comes with having to attach yourself to something, because now you have to continuously go back to that place and maintenance it, and have it readily and have it ready and up and going for people. Like, I don't want to have any type of attachments to anything anymore. The only attachment that I want to have is to my child. And even then, I don't want to be attached to her either. Like, even though we're binded, like, I don't want to have any attachments. I don't want to feel like if I have to die tomorrow that my soul needs to come back because I'm attached to something. I don't want to have any. That's why like spirits haunt like antiques and stuff because they may have been attached to it. I don't want to feel like my spirit has to be attached to something and I have to come back for it. Like that's the only reason why you would ever need to come back is because you're attached. Let go of that shit now. I am not this dress and this dress is not me. I am not these crystals and these crystals are not me. I am not this hair as you guys saw because I wore my natural hair for a week. Like, and now I'm ready to throw my wig back on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not attached to anything. I don't want to be attached to anything. I don't want to be attached to anything. I just want to just be free and live my life. Do you know how much freedom it is in not being attached to anything? Do you know how much freedom comes with that? Not having to take any medicines to keep your life going, that's an attachment. You know what I'm saying? Not to feel like you have to go and clock back into a job every day because you need the money. That's an attachment. Like, don't feel like you need to be attached to this shit. I mean, it's the only way. It's the only. That's the only thing. Oh my God, that's the only thing that's keeping us back from ascending is attachments, egotistical attachments. So let it go. Release yourself. I'm not attached to tarot cards. I don't need tarot cards to read. I use it as a buffer, but I'm not attached to it. I don't need it. You know, fasting helps you detach from food. Like I haven't ate anything all day. It's 2 o'clock. I worked out this morning. I did my class. Yeah, I'm hungry now. My stomach is growling, but I'm not attached to food to where I feel like, oh my God, I gotta eat right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I may drink water for the rest of the day and not eat nothing, because I'm not attached to food. I hope that makes sense. I hope that, you guys got something out of this. Yeah. Y'all have any questions? I think I'm done. Shoot. Any questions? Anyone want to share anything? Hold on, I'll be right back. Are we all good? Are all hearts and minds clear? I guess so. So I'm gonna upload this video and go on about my day. Um, y'all know, of course, if you have any questions or if anything comes up in your mental, I am here. You can reach out to me, www.divinechakras.com. Go to contact us and you can email me through there, or you can even email me directly, divinechakra777 at gmail.com. But I think that a lot of this conversation is definitely triggering because we are so attached to things. It's really time for us. It's really time for us to detach, and to really learn how to not live without how to live without stuff. You know, how to live without stuff. Like, do you know how many times? Like, think about it. Like, our ancestors had to migrate so many times because they may have gotten flooded out, the village may have gotten attacked, they may have to just up and leave, or they're just always on the road, they're migrating amongst the land. Like, think about our ancestors and how they had to not have attachments, you know? Like, I think about, like, I know a homegirl back in the day who, she could dress her little butt off. Dress her little butt off. I mean, clothes for days. And she had a fire in her house. And her house burned completely down, and she lost everything. I mean, this girl had Jeffrey Campbell shoes that she paid $200, $300 for. You know, I mean, you know, just stuff. She had a lot of stuff. She had a lot of stuff. And so I always think about that because I asked her, I said, what did your house burning down, what did that teach you? And she was like, I was attached to too many things. You know, I was attached to a lot of stuff. And I learned how to not be so relying reliant on materialistic things. And that's so important for us to realize going into to this new timeline and the timeline ceiling. Like, if you don't make a decision as to where your life will go for the next 12 years, like, you will be stuck in this wondering and not knowing. You'll be stuck. And when you're stuck in that timeline, like, it's going to be some rough, it's going to be some things going on with some people, and people are going to really go through some hard times because they decide to stay in a certain vibration, and that vibration will be locked. And even if you try to get out of that vibration, you may feel like you escaped it, but you will have a situation that will be presented to you that will mirror the exact same thing you were going through. So it's just best just to let it go completely, you know? Just to completely let that shit go, and whatever doesn't serve you, to just completely let it go. To not have any attachments, y'all. And I keep saying this, but you got to become a minimalist. Become a minimalist. Become a minimalist. Become a minimalist in your food. Become a minimalist in your clothes. Become a minimalist in your shoes. Become a minimalist in your life. I know people that are getting rid of their cars and becoming minimalist. Now, if you live in a certain area, I get why you may not be able to get rid of your car. But I mean, I know people that are like taking their vans and revamping their vans into like places to like just sleep, because really, like, a house, I mean, is it's really just to like cover you, you know? If it gets cold in the area, you can migrate to another area that's warm by just getting in your car and moving. You know, you don't have to live in a climate forever that's cold. Oh, well, what if it's cold in my area? Well, why are you staying in that area? Why are you being stagnant and staying stuck in a certain area? Like, get out and get to know people, travel. You know, I used to think that people were crazy that thought like this. But again, something happened to me in April. Something happened to me in April. Something happened to me over the summer that elevated me into a higher thinking, a higher consciousness of thinking. And now I realize how, like, reliant people are on things, on stuff. That means nothing. Means nothing. You know? Being attached to like our phones, and I just think back to when we didn't even have no cell phones. Some of y'all are old enough to remember. All of us should be old enough to remember when we didn't have cell phones, right? My first cell phone was a Nokia. I was 18 years old. I got a Nokia when I graduated from high school, and it had no picture. It was just numbers. Numbers. That's it. It was just numbers. It wasn't no Googling. It wasn't no, you know, the internet on your phone. It wasn't no picture phone, picture mail. It wasn't that. It was just numbers. It was like a pager, was a little bit bigger, and it was a phone, you know? And nowadays, if we lose our phone, that's our whole life. We lose our whole life. Oh my God, I lost my phone. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Like, are you gonna die? I don't think so. I don't think you're gonna die. Like, with this 5G going on, like, some of y'all probably happy if you lost your phone. Like, let's be real. You know? So we just have these attachments to things. Get out and travel. You know, get out and explore the world. You know, get out and take a trip. Take a trip. Like, I've traveled the most I've traveled in a long time this summer. Where I went to Jersey twice. I've been to Charlotte. I'm about to be going to Charlotte again this month to go see Kennedy and see her off to school. I went to Miami. I went to Clearwater. I'm going to Connecticut in September. I'm going to Dallas in the beginning of September. That's 6 places that I just named right now. Like, and then I want to plan a trip for the Christmas holiday. I don't want to be here for Christmas. You know, that stagnant energy, people doing the same shit every year, just a different year, you know. I don't know. I don't even know what else to say. I don't even know what else to say. Like, it's a trigger. It's a trigger for a lot of people. It's a trigger because it's like crack. You know, it's like what you mean I can't have my crack? What you mean? Like, it's that tick. Like, what you mean? What you mean I can't go shopping? What you mean? Like, it's like that bad tick that you can't get rid of. You know, that you can't get rid of. So yeah, y'all have fun with that, man. It's your life. What Lulu be saying from the House of Oshun, it's your life. It's your life. I don't know your life. I do not know your life, nor do I live it. So you decide on what you want to do, you know, but make sure you do it by September the 15th. Everyone that has energy within them, you have to believe truly that you can change and alter your future for your own perspective. Ashe. I do truly believe that. Making sure that I'm allocating time to all aspects of my life, teaching, studying, parenting, photography. Ashe. Um, yeah. So, facts, I lived in Charlotte. I loved it. I only moved because my husband, who I met in Charlotte, went back to active duty. Okay. That makes sense. That's probably another reason why my ass don't want to get married neither. Cause then I feel like I'm attached to my husband, and I always feel like I gotta move if his ass moves. That's so selfish, but I don't care. I'm selfish. I'm selfish. You know, I only care about my people and about myself. So, you know, for me to feel like I have to move with my husband, I would just be so upset. I'd be like, "What you mean we gotta move, babe? Like, I ain't moving. Staying right here." All right, well, let me go because I have a full day. I love y'all so much, and you know, I guess I'll check y'all in the next video. I need to figure out when I'm gonna release this money oil video for y'all, so y'all can learn how to make your own money oil at home. If you so desire, choose to. You know, not all of us are kitchen witches. I definitely am a kitchen witch, so you know, it is what it is. So yeah, maybe I'll release it today because I just said that. So look out for the money oil video today. Fuck it. Fuck it. Let's fuck it up. Let's just get that money oil popping. So I'm gonna get that to y'all. But 2020 readings are up and rolling now. So if you want a 2020 reading, you go on my website. It's on the home page. So the first page you should see, scroll down, and you'll see 3 options for 2020 readings. So holla at me. Okay? I love y'all, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.